here with your weather update.
It is Joker Day. And today we're going to mix it up. We're going to do a knock-knock.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Good morning. Today is Friday, January 31st. I'm Willa, and it's a great day to be a Panther. Your breakfast choices for Monday are bacon, egg, and cheese croissant, French toast sticks. For lunch today, you have a choice of pizza crunchers with marinara, Cuban sandwich, and cookies.
Yes!
Happy birthday to, well, there's none today, but our weekend birthdays are Lauren Boham and Ariana Schenkel. I'm here with your weather update today. Today's high is 75 and a low of 60. There is a 55% chance of rain.
Coach, do you know what day it is today?
No, I have no clue. Do you?
I do.
You do?
Yeah. Friday, 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 Friday.
Are we done? Are we done? That's all?
I did some exercise earlier in the week, so I don't need to keep going.
All right, here I am. I'll be calm now.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Mr. Sharon.
What do you call a wet dog?
Oh, this is easy. I call it a wet dog.
You did that the last time. You restated the question. Come up
You
with
asked
an
me
answer.
what I call it.
What do you call it?
That's what I call it.
What
A wet
do you call
dog.
it? No, is that what you call it?
A
Other than stinky.
a
You know out there? What do you call a wet dog?
You have no
a
idea.
No.
damp dog. I don't know.
How about a soggy doggy?
Soggy dog?
Soggy doggy.
I like that. A soggy doggy.
Yeah.
Because when something gets wet, it becomes soggy.
Soggy. And it's a dog, so it's a doggy.
Soggy doggy.
Soggy doggy. It
I was
rhymes.
trying to think of something with puppy, but I couldn't think of a good word. Yeah.
I'm sure if we had time, we could come
Yeah,
up
maybe.
with something.
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today.
Yeah,
Y'all have
that's
a great
right.
day.
So have a good weekend and a great day.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
one more time. Ready?
Ready? Friday, 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 Friday.
Friday.
Welcome to First Chapter Friday. I'm going to show you some selections by our author, Andrew Clements, who wrote our Pinewood Page Turners book, Frindle. We have A Week in the Woods, Room 1, A Mystery or Two, a series called Things Not Seen, then Things Hoped For, then Things That Are. All of these are located in the Media Center. How about Benjamin Pratt and the Keepers of the School? The first one is We the Children. Then we have Extra Credit and No Talking. Both look like they're in a school setting. Then we have Lunch Money and The School Story. Again, both in the school setting. And finally, one of my favorites, Jake Drake. Third graders, are you paying attention? We're reading this one as a class. All third graders are reading Jake Drake. Now, the book that I'm going to use this week for not Pinewood Page Turners, but for First Chapter Friday is called The Landry News. Now, it looks like a newspaper, doesn't it? But it's something that's going on in a classroom. Again, this book is written by Andrew Clements. Let's begin. The Landry News. The First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. Amendment 1. Congress shall make no laws respecting any establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a readiness of grievances. Guess what? That means I can say whatever I want to say. Chapter 1. New kids get old teacher. Carrie Lewis, I'm talking to you. Carrie Landry didn't answer her mom. She was busy. She sat at the gray folding table in the kitchenette, a heap of torn paper scraps in front of her. Using a roll of clear tape, Kara was putting the pieces back together. Little by little, they fell into place on a fresh sheet of paper, about 18 inches wide. The top part was already taking shape, a row of neat block letters carefully drawn to look like newspaper type. Kara, honey, you promised you wouldn't start that again. Didn't you learn one thing from the last time? Kara's mother was talking about what happened at the school Kara had attended for most of 4th grade, just after her dad had left. There had been some problems. Don't worry, Mom, Kara said absent-mindedly, absorbed in her task. Carrie Landry had only lived in Carlton for 6 months. From the day she moved to town, during April of 4th grade, everyone had completely ignored her. She had been easy for the other kids to ignore, just another brainy, quiet girl, the kind who always turns in assignments on time, always aces tests. She dressed in a brown plaid skirt and a clean white blouse every day, dependable as the tile pattern on the classroom floor. Average height, skinny arms and legs, white socks, black shoes. Her light brown hair was always pulled back into a thin ponytail, and her pale blue eyes hardly ever connected with anyone else's. As far as the other kids were concerned, Kara was there, but just barely. All that changed in one afternoon, soon after Kara started 5th grade. It was like any other Friday for Kara at Denton Elementary School. Math first thing in the morning, then science and gym, lunch and health, and finally, reading, language arts, and social studies in Mr. Larson's room. Mr. Larson was the kind of teacher parents write letters to the principal about. Letters like, "Dear Mr. Barnes, we know our child is only in 2nd grade this year, but please be sure that he or she is not put into Mr. Larson's class for 5th grade. Our lawyer tells us that we have the right to make our educational choices known to the principal, and that you are not allowed to tell anyone we have written you this letter. So in closing, we again urge you to take steps to see that our son or daughter is not put into Mr. Larson's classroom. Sincerely yours, Mr. and Mrs. Everybody who lives in Carlton." But somebody had to be in Mr. Larson's class, and if your mom was always too tired to join the PTA or a volunteer group, and if you mostly hung out at the library by yourself or sat around your apartment reading and doing homework, it was possible to live in Carlton for half a year and not know that Mr. Larson was a lousy teacher. And if your mom didn't know enough to write a letter to the principal, you were pretty much guaranteed to get Mr. Larson.